Okay, so the legendary Alicia Keys, Kanye West, and Fivio decided to release a song, and I was expecting something from Fivio. I was expecting a lot of heat from Fivio, but then I was worried about what Kanye would mention in the song, considering we have a week and a half before he drops. Don did too. So I want to make sure we look at this from a standpoint of what are we getting on the song. Now, the song is called City of the Gods. And I think this plays a amazing thing and shows a lot of respect to New York City. So that's another reason I wanted to do this, because of New York City's culture and the this how the song City of the Gods. And I want to talk about that, but we'll talk about all of this after a word from my sponsor. Okay, so I realized that I sound a little hyper for this song, and I think this song on multiple reasons, because we have this thing from Alicia Keys. We have this introduction from Alicia Keys of City of the Gods, and she takes the introduction, the hook, the main chorus, if you want to call it the main chorus, and introduces us to a song that we have never normally gotten from Alicia Keys vocally, and vocally this sounds amazing to me. But I want to say this because of the aspect she makes in this. She says, one of the lyrics is, New York, go easy on me and easy on my heart. And I want to say this because New York has made greats like Black Thought, Nas, Jay-Z, Pac. I think Biggie was partially New York, part Cali. Look, New York has made some of the most legendary artists famous. Like it's an amazing city to be in. I think Swiss Beats is from New York City, I believe so. But this also brings up another point where she says, "Go easy on my heart," because I think they officially reside in New York City, which I think is amazing because Alicia Keys also made her debut album in New York City. Like New York City is amazing to a lot of these artists. So when she says that, we get like the Empire State of Mind in the early 2000s with her and Jay. We get a huge atmosphere in New York City, which I think this is what that song what her introduction brings into this. Now, Fivio, I have to say, Fivio, I used to listen to Fivio and Pop Smoke when they were underground artists, not officially mainstream artists. So this sounds a little contradictory to me of me talking about them in the way I will, because Fivio has always been lyrical to me and always related to drill. Like as long as I've seen drill rap or drill anything, I always think of Fivio or Pop Smoke. So, and that's no offense to any artist necessarily, but it's surprising to me that we are getting Fivio on this song. Now, originally, I think this is Fivio's song, and I won't downplay that. But he says, he Pop Smoke was the king of New York, but now he's taking over. Now, I have to explain this to you. There's at one time where they've had artists take over New York City, like that artist has been established as that city's artist. One time it was Jay-Z, one time it was Nas when he put out Ether. So, in the drill scene, because the drill is taking over New York, it's changing the face of hip hop. But I expect this because of what New York City is known for. The original jazz came from New York, from Louisiana, right? With Miles Davis. And then we have Jay-Z, Black Thought. We have all of these artists. Rakim, Method Man, Redman. All of these artists came from New York. And at the time, they were considered New York's best. So it was Jay, it was Pac, it was Biggie, it was LL Cool J. This discussion brings a lot to this because he just says he runs New York. And I think this can be interpreted a lot of different ways. And I think Fivio, besides Little TJ, Fivio is the only rapper I think people get like a little bit of hype for, especially drill fans. This is the first time we've gotten drill from an American artist. We normally, if you normally go to drill, you probably go to the to United Kingdom for drill. But the first parts of drill, I believe, we've ever gotten on a major scheme on the American side would probably be Fivio. So this is why when he says he's run New York, I think that's because that's what they associate with New York. It used to be Bobby, but depending on how you like Bobby as an artist, you might not get it. But he says it. But I think Fivio has changed the rap scene a little bit in New York, which that's a discussion I'm gonna get in. Fivio and Alicia Keys, I love that they show love to New York, and every time they do a New York track, we always end up getting Alicia Keys on that track because of her vocal range is amazing. The lyrics are normally different, but they're also very unique. You'll never get the same vocal chorus or anything from Alicia Keys, and she's an amazing writer. So is Fivio. But then it comes to Fivio says he controls it from if you want to get into the city you can, but she has to make sure you check it, and that goes into a lot of artists where like the most recent example I can think of is when the baby tried to get in North Carolina and they told him he had to check in with somebody, or LA when he had to check in with somebody. He's like, I'm not checking that, right? But that's another conversation for another day when I talk about check-ins. So Kanye West. Now, this seems a little strange to me because Kanye West is extremely controversial depending on what he does, right? Like Kanye West is another artist I was surprised was on the song. When I heard Alicia Keys' Fivio, I wasn't expecting Kanye West. I'm gonna be honest. I wasn't expecting Kanye West on this song, but he is. Depending on if you believe he writes his music or not, that can be debated, right? Like that can be debated if he writes his music or not. And then if you want to support somebody that doesn't write their music or somebody that does, or he got ghostwriters and stuff like that, if you want to do it like that, we can do that. But I think overall the lyrics on this song, and granted, I know a lot of people say these are mid, but look into these a little bit deeper and they're funny to me. So he says him and Drake are cool, which depending on who you were betting on as the better artist, you probably had to decide on who you thought was going to be the better artist and who was going to sell it. Thank you for Jay Prince for settling that beef. But they're finally cool now after the pettiness that they went through. They are now cool, which I think is good for an artist, that we have to realize at a certain point that beefing with different artists can almost get you killed majority of the times. 9 times out of 10, somebody's going to die. So we can stop all that beef together. That'd be great. That'd be amazing. You know what? Like I think, and this is hard for me to say, but I think hip hop is the only genre of music where we remember artists after they're dead, or they become famous after they're dead because of how they died. Like Big Pun. Like a lot of people weren't looking out for Big Pun, but the moment they found out Big Pun died, it was like, yo, I remember listening to Big Pun when I was growing up, or oh my god, like Big Pun made amazing. Like Don't Be a Player. Like I think, and I don't want to give any less attention from Joe's Don't Be a Player, but Big Pun's Don't Be a Player is more of a hit to a lot of other people. Back on his note, he talks about album. He talks about album. He talks about feature of the year, which that I'm gonna bring up in another one too. But I think Kanye is so full of. I don't want to say full of himself. He has so much pride that he thinks that verse, which I will be discussing, is amazing. Now it's good. It's not the best I've heard from Kanye. It's not like Late Registration or College Dropout. It's okay, Kanye. It's good work, but it's not your best. But then he mentions this whole thing, and I don't know if Justin LeBoy and Kanye have a contract or something or whatever it is. But he released the Donda information through Justin LeBoy. He said, "I'm gonna make a meme and let Justin LeBoy post it." Now I don't know what situation they got because he was there for the Donda, for their first Donda, which I have to classify the first Donda, and then he's just saying this. And we've gotten a lot of information about Kanye's album or something from Justin LeBoy, which is crazy to me because he seems like he's on his PR team. So we'll talk about that. Which I think that's all I have to say about that. And there are two things I have to talk about, and I'm not discrediting anybody. So he said he's crazy now because he's rich and famous. He's like Michael Jackson. Now, now this is my problem with Kanye, right? Because he was signed to Rockefeller, I believe. He was signed to Rockefeller, which was under Jay's label, and I think Cam had it when he released another album, and Dame had it. So this has been a discussion for a little bit of Kanye not being able to get what he wanted to get, right? Some people say that it was Dame's reason why Kanye didn't get what he wanted to get. I don't know if it was money or what it was, but it was rumored. But then they say it was Jay, and Jay's the reason why he didn't get it. But there's a song on one of his albums. It's called Last Call, where him and Jay-Z talk it out. And Jay goes, I had to clear the room because a lot of these people don't mess with you, or they don't like you, which I think is kind of, I don't want to say crazy, but I think it just states to Kanye's and Jay-Z's workmanship. I think that's what it is. I think where Kanye believes he's as big as he is. And Kanye is great. He's a great producer. He's made a lot of beats in New York. So that'll bring me to my next topic. But I think something between him and Jay are not great. So I think that's what he's saying. But so I think he thinks that his beef is with Rockefeller. Now, what I mean when I say that is because Michael wanted all of his royalties and all of his actual checks from Columbia Records, which at the time I do not believe that anybody on Columbia Records directly hated Michael. I think it was just a contract issue with Michael Jackson, and he finally got it before he died. He got all of his rights to all his music. But Kanye is different. I think he has 2 or 3 albums that he has still he had with Rockefeller and I don't quite know if he got all his rights from for Rockefeller, but I don't know. So that's up in the air for that. And then he says, "The city treats me like I'm Jesus." Now this is what I'm saying. His ego, his pride is somewhere above the rest of everybody's. Kanye is a great producer. One of the greats. He did Alicia Keys. He did Christina Aguilera. He did Mariah Carey. He did Jay-Z. At some point, there's something about Alicia Keys that he did for her. Ty Dolla $ign was on The Life of Pablo. Big Sean. Kanye is great at what he does, right? But I don't think when people talk about top 10 of New York, right? Top 10 or top 5 of New York. And granted, Kanye's from Chicago. So this sounds a little rude. But top 5 or top 10 legends of New York City. It'll be Nas, it'll be Jay, it'll be Pac, it'll be Biggie, it'll be Flex, it'll be Funk Flex, it'll be Flex. I don't think Nori from. It'll be Big Pun. I don't think it'll be. I forgot where Nori is from. But it'll be Pop Smoke. It'll be Alicia Keys. It'll be a Mary J. Blige. It'll be Method Man. It'll be Redman, really. But But those two could vary. It'll definitely be Black Thought for me. It could be The Roots. Talent-wise, New York has never been short at talent, is what I'm trying to say. New York has never been short at talent. So for him to say New York City treats him like Jesus is it contradicts the thing for me because of New York City impact, right? Because Timberland, Swiss Beats, Jada Kiss, Cameron. It's hard for me to see that, right? Juicy J, it's hard for me to see Kanye being, like, if we go off the top of the head, it's hard for me to see for him to be like, yo, top 10 belongs to you, right? Because we got Locks, we got Dipset in their own respective fields. We got three Mafia. I mean, overall, like, I think Kanye is great, but I think we go music talent or artists or group wise, and I think I just ran through 10 and I don't think I mentioned Kanye. Kanye is great. Chicago, New York City, that's where we get in a gray area. So I think overall this song is great. It is great productive. The song itself is good. The beats are great, but it's a little short, and I wanted a lot more from Fivio's verse, which I got some of it, but not completely everything. So overall, it's not a bad song. So I'm gonna give it a 6.5 out of 10, and the best verse would probably, well, the best way I would do it was Alicia Keys, Kanye West, and then Fivio, or as Kanye calls himself now, Ye. So we'll see. Honestly though, I think this song is really thought provoking, and we'll get into that on another conversation when I talk about Ye. Personally, like, if I was to talk about Ye in a whole episode, I would do it and do a deep dive, and that could last forever. So I really hope y'all enjoyed the episode. 6.5 out of 10 is what I'm rating this song. It's not bad, it's not great, but it's really thought provoking as a song. So we'll see you on the next one.